And we're back, guys, looking at entering the legs this time. So look, if I can't get an angle on my partner for the underhook, I'm going to look to take 2 thumb-up grips in the armpits. Notice how I scooch my hips in towards my heels to get underneath my partner. My back needs to be concave, and look, I'm going to shoot one of my legs through. Very important. I keep my right knee tight. You guys see how I frame on the armpit, okay? My head moves a little bit to the outside. I'm going to connect my knee and my heel, okay? So my heel goes to the hip, okay? From here, guys, look, I try to keep everything tight, okay? And we're going to try to go for the sweep, guys. Look, I'm going to show the reap in a second, or where you would reap, okay? I'll have a more detailed video on the reap later. But mostly, guys, for this video, we're just looking at standard Ashi, okay? So look, I'm going to bridge, point my knees to my left, okay, to the outside, right? I'm trying to point my partner's knee outside the line of their foot. From here, see how my right hand takes this undercross grip, okay? You guys can step on the hip to look for the foot lock, or we're just going to use this to pop up and come on top, guys, okay? So I'm going to have a more detailed leg locking video later from seated guard. So again, guys, look, 2 thumb up grips, right? I can't make my angle, so we're going to look to elevate by scooting our hips in. From here, I'm going to pop my partner up, shoot one of my legs through. I'm going to change my angle here so you guys can see a little better. I'm going to shoot one of my legs through, and again, I connect my knee and my heel, and I frame on the armpit, guys, okay? Very important, okay? Frame the armpit, moving my head a little bit to the outside. You guys could reap your partner's knee inwards, okay? And you guys can also kind of use this dilemma a little bit, okay? Depending on the rule set, right? Of either reaping internally or bridging, pointing your knees to the outside, guys, okay? Again, it's kind of like the same mechanics of a low single leg, and that you're trying to flare your partner's knee outside the line of their foot and put them down. And now again, you guys see how my right hand passes underneath my partner's leg and kind of rests on my own thigh. This is something Jason Rao calls the undercross, okay? Guys can either use it to foot lock or just start to pop up to your feet and get your 2 points. Next will be the saddle, guys, okay? A little more advanced. I'm going to give kind of the beginner's version of this, okay? So look, same elevation. I'm going to frame on the inside of my partner's armpit, okay, again, with my left hand. But this time, guys, look, my foot that would go to the hip is going to go underneath my right leg. Look, I'm going to float their leg kind of up over my head and then chop them to the mat. Different ways to enter the saddle, guys. Look for this one. I'm just going to hide my left foot underneath them just so it gives me the option of coming on top and passing. And from here, you guys can secure the foot. I like to switch to different kinds of foot locks here, okay? So you have this kind of, I think Chris Wojcik calls this like the Panza lock a little bit. You have outside heel hooks, okay? Different attacks on that far leg, okay? You can also scoop underneath for like this Texas cloverleaf, okay? So a lot of options here, guys, provided you can control both legs, okay? But otherwise, we're just looking to attack that heel hook, okay, on the primary leg. Okay, that's what John Danaher calls the primary leg, okay? So the other leg, obviously called the secondary leg, okay? The one we're entangling, the one we're wrapping up, is the primary leg, guys, okay? And I'm down to do more advanced saddle videos in the future, okay? So again, guys, look, we switched to Ashi, but look, that foot's going to come out, pummel underneath the far leg. We're going to float their leg, pull it in. Again, I like to hide my foot underneath, so it gives me the option of coming on top. Different ways we can go from here, guys, okay? But big thing we're trying to look for, especially if we're new, guys, we haven't played a lot of this position yet, right? We don't really use the saddle that much. Really try to control that second leg and just focus on keeping your partner tied up there, you know? It's like I tell the kids, you know, you have a dangerous prisoner that wants to escape. What's the first thing you do? Bind their 2 legs together, okay? Follow for more. Thank you so much.